Students, this is the continuation part of your previous video. In previous video we already started temperate zone, and we have also learned that where is the location of the temperate zone in the world, and also we have learned about the climate of temperate zone. So now we are going to read about the animal life. Okay, so animal life, what about the animal life of the temperate zone we are going to read. Now the first one, that is you can understand, here I have written some points for the animal life of the temperate zone. So here I have written that hibernating and migrating. That means generally animals adapted to the habitat in various ways, including hibernating and migrating. So what is the first I have to say that what is the meaning of hibernating? Hibernating means that means the animals which are having the habit of sleeping throughout the cold, when that means winter season. So hibernating means the animals who are sleeping throughout the winter season. This type of animals are there in the temperate zone. Now migrating means the animals which are moving one place to another in search of food and shelter. So this type of animals are also we get in the temperate zone. So especially in northern hemisphere, bison, grizzly bear, elks, giant panda, and this type of that means carnivorous. That means carnivorous means that meat eaters. So this type of animals we get. And in southern hemisphere we get anteaters, llamas, alpacas, and different types of koala bears, wallabies. Okay, so we get these things in the temperate zone, but especially in the southern hemisphere of temperate zone. That is temperate zone of the southern hemisphere. Now who are living in the temperate zone? That means the people. First of all, here I have written, you can see at the bottom, that people in the northern hemisphere, that means most of the people who are doing farming, and also the people who are working in the cities. This type of peoples we get in the northern hemisphere of the temperate zone. And in the southern hemisphere we get nomadic people. You know what is the meaning of nomadic people? Nomadic people means those people who don't have the proper houses. They roam about here and there. Okay, and some people who are farmers and ranchers. Ranchers means people who are taking care of their animals and some peoples are also they live in the cities. So that means in temperate zone we get this type of people. Okay, you can see I have written here some points about the temperate zone of the grassland. Here number 1, that I have written, not much rain. What does it mean? It means in some areas, particularly in Central Asia, Central Europe and Central North America, there is not much rain. Okay, so as these places are not having the excess rain, so hardly we get any trees. Generally natural vegetation means is the mostly different kinds of, that means grasses. Okay, now next point, that is undulating land. What does it mean? It means that the land stretches for long distances and is undulating. That undulating means is waving. The place is not the plain. The grassland is just waving. Okay, and the soil in the grasslands receives its nutrients from only from the growth of what can I say, that only from the grass and the grass, the decay of the the root of the grass. Okay, so we can say it also that natural what can I say, that the natural fire, next one, that is the natural fires and man-made. Here I have written, what does it mean? It means that natural fire and those created by human beings help to make fresh land and growing fresh grass. That means when people are thinking about the making land, that means making new grasses, so they have to either they have to create the natural, that means man-made fire, or naturally if the fire can destroy the place and destroy the grass, and then the people can make the newly grasslands. Okay. Next one, here I have written the different grassland names. Now I am going to tell you about the names of the different grasslands of the world. So, prairies of North America, steppes of Eurasia, pampas of South America, veld of Africa, and downs of Australia. So, the first one, that is the prairies of North America, then steppes of Eurasia. Eurasia means it's Europe and Asia, and then pampas of South America, and veld of Africa, and downs of Australia. So, these are the important and the world famous grasslands of temperate zone. Now students, here I want to show you the map of North America. This is the map of North America, okay, physical map of North America. So here you can see this is Rocky Mountain. Rocky Mountain actually is in the North America, western side of North America. And here if you just notice this one here, it is prairies. So this prairies, this is the a huge land, and it is called the grassland of North America, or you can say the prairies. Clear? So here we will get the prairies. Now you can see here I have written some points for the prairies of North America. So first of all, where we get these prairies of North America? These grasslands are a huge area, and especially in the middle of North America, okay, middle of North America. And the climate actually here varies from being fairly moist to being rather dry in the central portion. If you go to the central portion, so it will be what can I say, that it is becoming dry, okay, in the central portion. If you go to the central portion, it becoming dry. So what happens, so this creates what happens, the different kinds of prairies. So in one part it is having the moist, so the grasslands will be different than which portion is having the dry climate, okay. So that is why the different prairies are there. The prairies, that means the grasslands, are also there. Now next one, here I have written that very little of the original green prairies remain. That means what I have said, the different prairies are also in this place. So this creates different that means the different climate is creating the different prairies, okay. Like the tall trees, the tall grasses prairies in the east, mixed grass prairies in the central plains, and short grass prairies in rain shadow of the Rocky Mountain, okay. So now this portion I have told that very little of the original green prairies remain, because much of the land has been turned into agricultural land, okay. So and this are very suitable for growing wheat, rye, oats, and several cities are also there in this region.